Hello, everyone. I'm here with Primer or Pokeprimer. May you introduce yourself, man?
How's it going? Yeah, my name is Pokeprimer. I go by Primer a lot across Discord, across various leagues and such. Really happy to be here and looking forward to hopefully having a real good time with this upcoming team tour. It looks like a really fun format, and I'm super stoked to get into it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I hope you do have fun, and because it's a great event here, very highly touted, and it's very good. So first question for you, Primer. What's your experience here in SGBL for the people that might not know? Are
So
you?
I'm completely brand new to SGBL. I have a couple of friends in another league that we're in called ODC, Stunt, and I believe Joe Spagat has also been around SGBL for a bit. And they were kind of really touting it and saying it was a really good time. It helped them improve as players being involved in it. They were able to get a lot more experience, a lot more time, getting better with doing mocks and stuff like that. That allowed them to overall improve as a player. And Stunt just this past season ended up winning the whole thing in ODC. So there was proof kind of in the pudding right there. So they mentioned it, and I was like, I mean, that sounds pretty cool to me. I'm down to jump into that and see what I can get out of it.
Okay, so you definitely mentioned, like, I know Stun here is a very love member too. He's really good. People see him as a great player, especially
Mhm.
here in SGBL. So that's good to see. And Joe Spagat has been here. He's been around the block for a bit here in SGBL.
Very
So
cool. Very cool.
you mentioned some of the members, right? Like, you mentioned Joe and you mentioned Stunt. Is there any of the captains that you might have a relationship with, or that you
Uh,
may know of?
I have not interacted with any of the captains before, to my knowledge. I'm sure I've bounced around the draft community a lot, so I'm sure we probably have passed each other in one way or another somewhere along the line. But I don't recognize any of the names off the top of my head. But from everything I've seen from all the chats and stuff, all of them seem like really interesting, really fun people to get to know. So I'm excited about that for sure.
Yeah,
So everyone
they're
seems
all
pretty
good.
chill.
They're all good people. I can attest to that. They're all good guys and gals and friends, and they're good. They're good chaps. So, you said that you bounce around the draft league community, and you did mention OCD, right? That's correct, OCD, right?
ODC,
ODC. I'm sorry.
it's all good.
Uh, uh, like, what's your experience with other draft leagues, and maybe like other team tours potentially in the past or even currently?
Draft league wise, I've been just about everywhere. I've been every pretty much abbreviation you can possibly come up with to use. I've probably been a part of a league with that abbreviation at this point. TCL, JLPC, MDA, BTDL, DDL, WPF, HDL, LET. You name it, I've probably played there at some point or another. I've been in more draft leagues than I can count at this point. I've been playing draft consistently since 2013, 2014, around pretty consistently for like usually in about 2 or 3 drafts at a time, if not more, because I'm a sadist who likes to fill all of my free time with prepping and mocking for games all week long. As far as team tours, though, I haven't really done a lot of team-based things. I've been in one or two like team-based draft scenarios recently with a bunch of people from ODC. We were in something called the DDL, which was like a 5-person team draft kind of situation where we all kind of we shared one mod, but the rest of us kind of built different teams around it, and then we would face off in like 5v5 kind of situations each week, and whichever team ended up with the better record got the win for the week and whatnot. And that was a really, really fun experience. We ended up making it all the way to the finals, which was really nice for that.
Yeah,
But
that
team
sounds
tours
really
like this,
interesting.
team
Cool.
tours like this look really interesting with all the different formats. I'm really excited. It's a really, really cool looking format. So something different to try out. I'm always looking for new things to test out.
Yeah, and yeah, and I just want to know, is there any confusion with the team tour format potentially, or you think
Yeah,
you
it,
got
it
it in
it
question?
seems pretty straightforward. I know I've seen stuff like that as well. Like I watch a lot of Pokemon MD. I know he's done a lot of like the Smogon like team tournaments and stuff in the past, and the format seems like fairly similar to stuff like that. Yeah, everyone works together. If you're not playing that week, you're probably help everyone else prepare and play to play their matches and stuff. And it's a nice, fun environment. Everyone always has a role to fill.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
for sure. It's like a old machine sometimes with some of the teams that get formed.
Exactly.
You've seen the a look at the 5 formats. Any particular formats that you enjoy playing, or do you have experience with most, if not all of them?
I have the most experience with Paldea decks and Nat decks. Those are the ones I've definitely played the most of. I've probably been in about 2 to 3 dozen leagues of each at this point. So I've seen just about every team composition that could pretty much be put together at this point. I'd be shocked if anyone came up with anything that I haven't seen before. As far as the other ones, I've dabbled a little bit with LC. I haven't seen a lot of LC drafts get run recently, so it hasn't been something I've worked with a lot, but I've done LC drafts in the past, like pre-Gen 9. So I do have a little bit of experience with that. Radical Red I did one draft of about a year ago, and it went okay. I play Radical Red a lot. But I'm usually playing it randomized, so it's kind of like it's not the same experience. So I don't get to experience a lot of the mons in their truly buffed forms. But it's a fun format. I definitely enjoyed the draft I did with it. So I feel like I would be able to help at least a little bit with that one. Fusions would be completely brand new, and that sounds like an insanely fun format, and I would love to dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, oh man, so 2014, 2013. So yeah, I do imagine you've had a lot of experience with like the more standardized format, which would be in this case PAL decks and obviously Nat decks. So yeah, that is kind of crazy. I would say Red and particularly Fusions looks a lot more like intimidating to like the naked eye, but I promise you, it's a lot more simpler than like you can imagine.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like,
I mean, it's just a matter. It's just a matter of like getting everything on paper. At the end of the day, you're still putting everything down on paper, looking at the team as it is, and working around with whatever it has. Some things might be a little bit different than you're used to, but at
yeah.
the end of the day, it's the same. It's the same concepts. It's just a little bit more unique.
Yeah, for sure. And oh man, and oh man, there's gonna be something I blanking, but but what you mentioned, not too much captain experience with the captains currently, and that's fine. But why should a captain think about picking you up? Like, what's something unique that you might bring to the table, or something that you might do better than other people potentially?
Uh, Wonderful question. Wonderful question. I think one thing about me is consistency. I might not be the best player, but I'm definitely not the worst player, and I'm someone who can consistently make playoffs in leagues that I join. I probably have about an 85 to 90% playoff making record over the course of my draft career, which I'm always very proud of because at the very least I know I can make it decently far. I can compete against varying skill levels of opponent pretty effectively, take even tougher opponents, to task and make them really work for it. So I feel like I'm very consistent on the playing side of things. And I feel like I'm also really consistent on the building side. One thing people always bug me to help them with builds. They'll always shoot me like a build for their upcoming matches and be like, I don't know, man. I feel like something's missing. Can you take a look at this real quick? You're usually quick to spot whatever detail I've missed or whatever set might just break through this whole thing. And I feel like I'm consistently able to help people with that kind of stuff often. So I feel like even if I'm not playing that week, I feel like I can be a good force to make sure my team's not missing any minor details that could completely screw them over in a match or something like that. I'm very consistent across the board, I would say, in most areas.
And consistency is very good, always, right?
Yeah. for sure.
And I will say, like you mentioned, right? Obviously, there's like going to be two people in the player pool that know you a lot, right, from ODC, and
Mhm.
maybe a few other people. But I would say, oftentimes, like in these team tours, from what I've seen, it's like the people that might not be too well known, like they can go crazy because people don't know how they play. People don't know like their tendencies or their play style.
Exactly. There's a surprise factor to it that because familiarity, in my mind, breeds a lot more fun competitively because you can kind of once you know how someone plays, you can kind of more tailor your prep around that. But going into it blind, it's tough because you don't know, you really truly don't know what to expect. I've been caught off guard plenty of times by people that were just completely brand new to leagues I've joined that like brought some kind of set that I never would have thought of or no one would have considered. And just completely flipped the script on anything I've ever seen before. I was like, okay, fair enough, you got me. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and you caught me off guard. Well played. And I always love seeing that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I would like to be the one contributing to that.
yeah. Hopefully you can cook some people like a week or two just by bringing some set they either never seen or a set that they've never seen piloted the way that you can pilot, right?
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't. I'm not gonna ask you to like share your secrets, but do you think you have a preferred play style, if any, or you think you can do it all potentially?
I think
Yeah.
most play styles I can form myself to. It's in some way, shape, or form. I feel like at this point I've tested out just about everything. I've to varying levels of success. Some things I'm better at than others, but obviously can't give them too much information. But I feel like I can take just about any team and any style and make it work.
Yeah, I mean that's good to hear, man. Obviously, I don't want you to give out your trade secrets. Any any crazy sets or anything like that. But yeah, I mean that's good to hear. But yeah, I guess we're circling back a little bit. You mentioned right a lot of leagues. What would you say it's like roughly like your playoff success rate? Like you make playoffs, and any maybe notable chips from people that might know of them, or like any finals appearances in those specific leagues.
Yeah, probably I'd say vast majority of leagues I join, I do make playoffs in. Very rarely do I miss out on playoffs. I'd say out of every like 9, 10 leagues I'm in, I probably make playoffs in about 8 of them.
Mhm.
So I feel like I'm fairly consistent in that part. I'm there more often than I'm not. As far as like chips and title berths, I've definitely and in finals situations, I recently won a league run by Incog. I know he's kind of around the draft community. I know he does like stuff on YouTube and stuff. He runs his own league, and I recently won the most recent season of that league, which was really cool. Um, I've won a couple titles in other leagues I've been in the past. JLPC was one I've won twice. Uh, TCL was one I did a bunch of years ago. I won their like mid tier league where it was like all like the mid evos and down kind of stuff, which was kind of fun. I've been in the finals for LET in the past. They do more Wi-Fi based stuff, and I won HDL, which is the Hoenn Draft League. Uh, I won that once in the past as well. A
So,
couple here and there.
so a whole plethora of chips and playoff appearances. Okay, man. Very very good player. Very you might be it's like some draft royalty, right, man? Especially especially because you
You asked
mentioned
the
you
right
won
people,
everything twice.
probably.
Yeah, and yeah, that's good to hear. And yeah, I know you mentioned right. Obviously, Little Cup you played a little bit, and Rad Red you played mostly the ROM hack, right? When you mentioned you played a lot of Rad Red, you mentioned like
Yeah.
mostly the ROM hack or the randomizers. One season of it, and then obviously fusions. No experience yet, right? No, You gotta say yeah, 'cause you never know.
Yeah, you
Um,
never know. It could come up.
yeah. Do you think, like, let's say worst case scenario, like the fusion or like Red player has to do something, they get caught up with like life. Do you think that you'll be able to fill in after seeing like maybe a few weeks of how they pilot their team or how they play, or after?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good at picking up new things once I get going with it. I just need to see it a couple times to kind of get a rough idea of like how things function, what's good, what's not. Yeah, but kind of get a rough idea of what I'm working with, and then I can pretty much pilot it from there. So I feel like I would be able to jump in for any format that was needed for me, if I needed to, and perform at least decently well.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like a free win for the other team. It'll be a
Yeah,
hard fought
yeah,
battle
and
as
make them
always.
work for it.
Yeah. And this is a point of contention for some captains. You would be down to just hop on BC and either talk about your drafts or talk about prep or talk about mocks. Is that something that you're comfortable with,
Oh yeah,
personally?
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I have no problem just hopping in, chatting with just about anyone for anything, especially like for draft and stuff. I that's one thing I'm passionate about Pokemon and draft in general. I wouldn't have been doing it for 10 plus years if I wasn't. So like anytime I can hop on a call with someone and like that's just all we're talking about, like I'm down. Let's do it. You wanna sit down and mock for 2 3 hours? Let's fucking do it. Let's knock it out. Let's oh, you need me to you wanted me to take a look at your draft? You think something might be out of myth? All right, cool. I think this pick would be better here. I think you can maybe swap this out for something. I think you can upgrade this. Whatever we got to do. I'm happy to sit down and chat with anyone about Pokemon for hours. I've been there, done that, to my wife's dismay sometimes.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, Pokemon's it's a like a drug sometimes. It gets
It
you.
is. It really is.
And yeah, are you potentially, after the season, you think you be running more seasons in SGBL potentially after the team tour? Maybe try
Yeah,
out
for sure.
Fusion, hopefully, no?
Yeah, for sure. I usually like really depends on like how the community looks, and so far everything that I've seen from SGBL looks really well put together. It looks really well run. I love like this interview process is really really cool, especially for like new players to the league like myself to kind of no one knows who I am. I'm coming in out of nowhere. Why would someone want to pick me? All right, cool. Here's this way for you to tell people here. Pick me for this reason. I'm pretty decent at these kind of things. Come get me, and
Yeah,
get my name out there a little bit. I think that's really cool. Everything looks really fun here, so I think I definitely would stick around for a while.
yeah. This is like an option to advertise yourself. Even if you're a returning player, a new player, just get yourself out there, man. And I imagine this is the first time maybe that you're doing this, like an interview for a draft, for a
Yeah,
draft league.
yeah. It's very very brand new thing, and it's very very cool. I think it's a fun idea, and I think for anyone who hasn't taken you guys up on this idea, I think like y'all are missing out. I think it's a foolish decision because like there's no reason not to, right? Take like a half hour, 40 minutes or whatever out of your afternoon, sit down, have a good chat about yourself and some Pokemon stuff, and like what's wrong with that? And it just increases your chances to get picked up in the team tour like that. I see no reason to not do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's all for questions regarding team tours shenanigans. Before we close this off, I want to ask any special interest. I know we were talking before we started recording about anime. Is it just anime? Maybe something else? And like, if so, if it was just anime, or that's all you want to talk about right now, maybe give me your top three animes of all time, potentially.
Oh, top three animes of all time. Oof. That is it's always such a tough question to ask because really depending on the month and depending on my mood, spots 2 and 3 probably have flip flopped 18,000 different times. But like for me, my number one of all time is Yu Yu Hakusho. I grew up on it on Toonami as a kid, and I don't know something about this loudmouth, tough street kid knocking people out on the street and then firing a giant laser from his fingers in the shape of a gun just kind of stuck with me. And as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate the series a lot more for like how the characters are written, how deep the character progression is woven into the story, and some of the different themes they get within all the arcs. It's really, really solid stuff, and it's stuck with me for years. If I had to pick a 2 and 3, I would probably say number 2 would probably be Attack on Titan. People be damned. I thought the ending was perfectly fine. If you didn't like it, to each your own. But like, I thought the ending was perfectly fine based upon how the characters were as a whole throughout the course of the series. It made logical sense the way the characters behaved. So like, if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. That's on you. But I think the series is overall amazing, and it gets even better on second and third watches. Yeah, I recently rewatched through the whole thing with my wife for her first time watching through, and I'm sitting there like trying not to freak out because I'm like, oh god, this moment in season 1 foreshadows something that happened in like season 4. That's insane. That is insane that this little tiny detail was in here this whole time. And like, never would have known that the first time through. So it makes it so much better on rewatches. And then I'd probably give third slot to One Piece. I've been a One Piece fan my whole life, and it's stuck with me. It is long. It is very draining at points. I will admit. Anyone who doesn't want to watch it because of how long it is, I'm not gonna be one of those One Piece fans that's like, no, dude, trust me, it's worth it. No, dude, I get it. I 100% understand. It's over 1,000 episodes. There's over 1,000 manga chapters. Like, it's a lot. It's a daunting task. If you haven't jumped on early enough, it's a tough thing to get to. I get it. I don't fault anyone for avoiding it for that reason. But like, if you're willing to go for that long haul, you're gonna find one of the better stories you've ever read, in my personal opinion. It's just that good. But
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
what can you say? One Piece is One Piece. It's
yeah. But yeah, three bangers, right? Three incredible stories. Three, obviously you enjoyed them, and I want to ask you 2 follow-up questions after hearing that list.
for sure.
Most importantly, maybe, is the One Piece real? You think? In
Oh,
your
the One
humble
Piece is
opinion.
real. The One Piece is 100% real, but I don't think it's going to be what anyone expects it to be. I've gone through about a dozen different theories as to what the One Piece truly is, and it could range from 1,000 different things at this point. And I think the only person who truly knows what it is going to be is Oda, and I don't think any of us are going to. I don't think any of our theories are going to be right, no matter how many we come up with. I think it's going to be something completely out of the realm of anyone's consideration, and it's going to blow everyone's minds. There's a reason why Roger and his whole crew laughed when they got there and they found it, and we're just going to have to find out when we get there.
Yeah, and and this might be more controversial questions. So this might be for someone that has listened to this all the way through. But are you a sub guy or are you a dub guy with anime?
First off, I stand on the sub versus dub argument is the dumbest thing that has ever come out of the entire anime community.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the
it is.
day, you're not better than anyone else because you listened to something in a different language and read words on a screen. Congratulations, you've watched a telenovela. What makes you special? You're not cool because you watch all of your anime in sub. Oh, the Japanese actors do, but how do you know? How do you know anything about how Japanese people are supposed to talk, sound, their inflection, and everything else? How do you know they're doing a better job? You don't speak Japanese. You have no clue. And I'm sure there's been plenty of subs that you thought were god tier in the past that Japanese people probably listen to, and they're like, man, this actor really sucks. I really wish their performance was better. So, like, you really don't know what you're talking about, and you're just being elitist to be elitist. That's silly. I think watch anime how you like at the end of the day. If you prefer to watch it in your own native language, watch the dub. Have fun with it. It's cool. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we're virtually the same thing. If you prefer to watch it in sub, that's cool too. That's wonderful. You're great. You're special. Congratulations. For me
Yeah,
personally, I prefer dub anime is like a while I love sitting down and like really diving into an anime, I also like to do other things. I'm a multitasking kind of person. So like I'll throw anime up on my phone while I'm doing dishes or something. And kind of hard to watch a subbed anime while I'm doing dishes because I'm busy reading the words. Oh, I've just stabbed myself with a knife. That's a pretty foolish thing to do. So like having the dub on, I still know what's going on. I can still understand that because I know the language they're speaking. I can keep up with the dialogue and the story, and I can still do other things. But like if there's no dub available, yeah, I'll watch the sub. Whatever, that's fine. I'll probably rewatch it in the dub later. That just means I get to re-enjoy the story twice, and I get to have twice as much fun with an anime. So like, I think I'm winning either way.
Yeah, that was beautifully said. I wanna clap, but I don't think it will pick up on the mic. But but yeah, thank you for that beautiful explanation. So yeah, any closing remarks for this like 25-ish minute interview or no? Anything you want to say
Um,
to the crowd? Maybe anything you want to plug? Anything you want to plug? I can put in the description if you like.
I know, and I wish I had anything to plug. I tried doing YouTube years ago, and I just could not keep up with it. So all I have to plug is do these interviews, man. Do these interviews. It's really fun stuff. But like, nah, I'm excited to be here. I think this whole team tour and everything looks really, really fun, and I'm really hoping that one of you teams will pick me up. And I promise you, if you do, you will not regret it. I will be active. I will be present. I will be mocking. I will be helping build. I will be throwing hands with anyone you need me to throw hands with, and we're gonna have a great time. I like to bring good vibes and a good time. So if you want that on your team, hit me up. Let's do it.
Yeah, very beautifully said, and and then give an official send off, like see you guys later or something. Anything you would like, just as an official send off to close this thing out.
Sounds great. I hope you guys have enjoyed my interview here for SGBL. Uh, please check out the other interviews because they've all been great so far from everything I've seen. But until the next one, my name is Pokeprimer, signing off. Peace.